Hi everyone, this is Sunette, and in this solo video, I am going to be role-playing for you. Role-playing a moment that you could possibly or probably face in your daily life to assist and support in showing you what it practically means to redefine and live a word in real time when the moment manifests or emerge unexpectedly and unpredictably, you're facing a point within your thoughts, your inner dialogue, and your emotional experiences. And the moment you recognize it, you can go, aha, here is my moment of opportunity. And in this moment of opportunity that you recognize and see this very familiar pattern that you've been working on for quite some time, you can then assert yourself to change who you are within and without into the best version of yourself that you have foreseen in your own words. Right? Let's show. Now, let's say you walk into the work environment, a work environment. You walk into a kitchen. You walk into the lounge. You walk outside in the garden. And oftentimes what we take for granted is whichever environment or space we walk into, we are, interestingly enough, mostly very much internalized. I mean, yes, we do register and see what's around us and who's around us, but it is quite hazy from a certain perspective. Hazy, meaning we know it's there, we register, we see it, but most of our focus and attention is within ourselves. Mostly you also notice your head is slightly tilted inwards, downwards, and you're looking at things inside yourself. So this would be the first step of self-observation that you can do. And realizing when you're moving from one space to another or entering a new environment with people, without people, doesn't matter what the setting is, your focus and attention is much more internalized in your mind inside yourself than on the outside. Even, yes, you may be looking around on the outside, but you're still very busy in here, inside yourself. Now, up comes a surprise. Let's say, walking into the work environment and you're in a particularly good mood, may have a project that you're very proud of, that you're headed toward a meeting to start showing, and suddenly someone rushes past you. The coffee in hand, papers all over the place, and they come speeding past. Now there's coffee almost like kind of spilling all over the place. This person is a very young, new person, and it just seems like they are this tornado rushing through and past everyone. And you are kind of like in this la happy land, and bam, in that moment everything gets shaken within you. And because just the way they moved past you and bumped past you and brushed, that's one pattern that you realized. It still gnaws at you when people unnecessarily bump into you, get into your space. I mean, you're a person who are considerate and aware, always watches where they're going, knows what's happening, what's wrong with people, rushing in a room, rushing around in a space. We need to bump around. Surely there's, so your mind starts going off at this person. And suddenly you can start seeing yourself, almost with fireballs in your hands and your hair, and your eyes become hellish, and you really start getting into that mood. Right there is where we can go, okay, breathe, slow down. Now, here, obviously, you over time, when you start redefining and living words more practically in everyday life moments, you start seeing how your inner reality, your thoughts, your inner dialogue, and your emotions also get triggered and how they work. But thing is that is the most challenging is catching it soon enough. Catching what's getting triggered and activated inside ourselves soon enough. So, and initially it is difficult. It's hard, challenging to, once you're in that complete transformation of your own emotions, to now go, okay, no, thank you. I want to be this rather. It's not as easy as taking a broom and just sweeping away dirt. It is truly quite a process of imagining you're almost in the suit, okay, that you have designed, patched up, stitched, created for yourself. And it's almost like your body is in this very weird position, and all twisted and stuck. And you've got to kind of figure out, okay, how did I put myself in this thing and break free and create something new as yourself to embody, to live, to be, and to express. All right. So now, getting to this scenario, I'm more playing out this example within the context of beginners. Beginners meaning beginners in this process. You've noticed how your mind moves, but now that you recognize it, you do get into that moment where you're still going to become it. Don't judge yourself when the thoughts still come or the inner dialogue and the emotions and you can feel yourself steaming up. Even that first bit of change where you recognize it will already be enough awareness to stop yourself from yelling after the person, which is something you might have usually done, or even go so far as complaining with your boss, to someone else about them, saying, look, this person can't be walking like this, can't be doing this. Is this the etiquette you want in this office? Those type of things. Instead of, slowly but surely, what will start happening is the more you start recognizing also these type of things that goes on inside yourself and your mind, you will, let's say, in a way now look out for the moments where people bump in you more, and say, okay, come, where's the bumpers? Let me start checking how I'm doing and changing myself within this point where I become so emotionally furious about it. And so now, taking this person as an example, let's say they're walking from point A and they're in this really good mood and they've got the project in hand and everything is perfect and got their inner reality and they're thinking about the project and they're walking into this environment. Now, what is fascinating is that other person already came walking from a while back, okay? In the projection in which this person, or the trajectory into which this person was walking, they would have seen them out of the corner of their eye. But they didn't. Why? Because were they actually in reality? Were they taking in all the people, the environment in such a way of being able to recall a couple of seconds ago the detail of who was in that room and what was? And where were the people generally positioned? Who did they recognize upon entry? Was there any changes? It's fascinating how much we take for granted that we're not even really very much registering our own environment in detail. And taking this person as an example again, so a couple of times after that, and this is essentially a case study example that I'm also sharing with you here, a couple of times after that, they started noticing that in addition to just calming down and relaxing when someone bumps into them and realize it's not personal, it's actually, they could actually just take that person by, just lightly by the arm and say, hey, calm down. Where are you rushing to? You are going to make life more difficult for yourself. You're going to be running and rushing around here. I know that. I've been there. Or, just share something with them, but help them in that moment to become aware. You might not even know that person who's running and rushing around, everyone is getting angry at them, but no one's supporting them. And, all of us might, for example, say, but they should be doing it for themselves. They should be grown up enough, and we take care of our, all those excuses, reasons, and justifications. But, it sometimes just can take that smallest moment of reaching out. If you're more just calm inside yourself and just for a moment reach out and consider another person, that can change their lives. That can change other people's lives. As it was so interesting if you could map out a day in such a person where it's like you step back out of the office just for that entire day. And you look at if they kept bumping into other people and putting everyone into moods. Not that they were putting everyone into moods, obviously, but everyone reacting in moody ways because they also don't yet understand their own emotions or thoughts and things like that. It could ripple effect into everyone else's lives in some negative way or another. Everyone creating these negative ripples everywhere. And you could make a difference in all of that by just acting in one moment out of awareness. So, there's so little we take into consideration and account in the greatest influence we can have in the smallest of moments. So, what this person eventually did was realize as they're walking from point A, being so internal, yes, kind of registering their reality, but not being completely in it, being all like almost tippy-toed and really happy, was like really having that bounce in their step and not noticing reality. Reality, in a way, came crashing into them, with that nice bump and whoa, almost losing their footing and going, oh my, immediate reaction is anger. Why? And this is also because, we were in our happy space. We were in our happy reality on the inside. Now, this person came crashing into us. They didn't. In fact, if you were more aware, you could have seen them coming. You could have slowed down a bit more in your walking. You would have noticed a lot more. And maybe even, prevented them. Or if you knew them, just maybe stop them and assist and support them for a moment. All right. So here, everyone was just opening up your eyes a bit more to also the practicality of soul. School of Ultimate Living. The ultimate living of your relationship, not only to yourself within, but also your outside environment and the awareness thereof and the people within it. And, just if we just start doing that one simple change of noticing, and this is what I'd like everyone to take with you for this video. Notice how you're just walking in one environment to the next. And you can practice this in the comfort of your own home. Start simple. Because obviously out there it gets very busy and you get so stimulated by so many things. Can't help but be a bit internal. That you realize when you look down a lot, you just do that one change of looking up more. And really taking in your environment. Start looking at detail, looking around you. When you go for walks, when you go outside, look at more simple places where you can just start practicing awareness, attention to detail, people, observing them. Also, not in a judgmental comparison. Don't use it as an opportunity for your personalities to go haywire, but use it to practice just awareness. And it is amazing how just that one thing can change how much time you spend in here and how much emotions and thoughts you entertain. Sometimes even just reflecting on my own process, it was fascinating how much I spent in here just because I had the time, because I created the time to, because I wasn't really paying attention to how much more was in the most simplest of moments in my surroundings. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. And you're just also a nice illustration of what we mean with practical real-time change. How change can not only extend to yourself, but to others as well. All right, everyone, enjoy.